will be cooking and take you guys step by step about how to cook this fantastic. Yo, what is up guys? Cooking University here, and today guys, if you're looking for healthy recipes, including this meaty stuffed pepper casserole, then you're in the right place. Actually, it might not be the healthiest, but it's great, right? With a little bit of sodium. So without further ado, let's get into the ingredients. First things first, get some 2 tablespoons of butter. It can be unsalted or salted, but I would recommend unsalted because this is gonna have a little bit of sodium in it. Either 6 small green peppers or 3 large green peppers. I did 3 large green peppers because they were pretty big. 1 large onion, 1 pound of ground beef, and some Italian sausage, some salt, and some ground black pepper, 1 pinch of dried oregano, 1 pinch of garlic powder, 2 4.5 ounce cans of diced tomatoes, or they could be petite, it doesn't really matter. 1 cup of white rice, 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Close enough, right? Or however much you want, like I always do. 2 10.75 ounces worth of tomato condensed soup. So it calls for 1/4 of 10.75 ounces of canned water. So I'm just gonna put 2.7 ounces of water because 1/4 10.75 ounces, that's 2.7 ounces, and I'm kind of confused on that. So I'm just gonna start off with that and see what happens. And last but not least, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Obviously, like I always say every single time, 24 hours before you cook this fantastic casserole, make sure to get the ground beef and the sausage out of the freezer and put it into the fridge 24 hours before you make this delicious casserole. Once those 24 hours are up, make sure to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Cut the butter to make sure it's 2 tablespoons. Now, I made a mistake and placed the butter into the pot instead of the skillet and then put it on low heat. Luckily, I caught myself pretty quick into this, so I just removed the butter from the pot and placed it into the skillet. And at first, I had the temperature about 200 degrees, and I just remembered that's kind of hot. So I decided to put it around 150, 175 degrees. And literally like 2 minutes later, that butter was already melting. It was even splattering just a tiny little bit, not too much. So what I did was I just turned down the heat to about maybe 100 degrees or so. It doesn't need to be that high temperature. Get the green bell peppers out and then cut it in half, wash it a little bit, and then just cut it into little tiny pieces. And make sure to turn the skillet off too when you're at it, especially once the butter is fully melted. Place the green peppers into the skillet along with the butter. Once all 3 green bell peppers are all put into the skillet, make sure to peel the onion, cut it up into little tiny pieces, and then place it into the skillet along with the green bell peppers and the butter. Once you put all the onion into the skillet, turn up the temperature to about 200 degrees and then just stir it all around for about 2 minutes or until the vegetables are slightly soft. I just did it for 2 minutes. Once those 2 minutes are up and or the vegetables are slightly soft, turn down the temperature to about 150 degrees and then put the ground beef into the skillet along with the sausages, and make sure to remove the casings off of the sausage too, because obviously you don't want the casings in the sausage with your casserole, right? Ugh. Once the ground beef and the sausage are in the skillet, turn the temperature up to about 225 degrees or so, and then mash all the meat up, and then mash and stir the meat all up with the vegetables until the meat is either crumbly or brown, or for about 10 to 12 minutes. I just did it till it was crumbly or brown because I don't want any pink whatsoever. And I was starting to struggle at this point a little bit. The skillet was getting a little bit too big. But while the meat is browning, you are more than welcome to get ahead of yourself a little bit and dump that 1 cup of rice that you're going to need later on into a measuring cup. Make sure to turn the temperature down to about 150 degrees once the sausage and the ground beef was browned and crumbly, and which took way more than 10 to 12 minutes. Then make sure to drain the grease. As you can see, there was a lot of grease, and I was so curious as to why there was so much grease since sausage and ground beef doesn't have a lot of grease to it. And I remembered I put butter in it. So I don't know why I said to drain the grease when I literally just got all the butter out. So that was kind of useless. But man, that was a pain to get all the grease, butter, out of the skillet. I interrupted and do not apologize one bit to give this video a humongous shout out to Ibotta, the place where you buy certain groceries from a certain grocery store. You get cash back on the groceries that you bought. I have saved a ton of money off some of the ingredients of this recipe. All you gotta do is just use my referral code when you sign up, link in the description below, or subtitles right around here. there, wherever. And once you submit your first receipt on Ibotta, you get an extra $10 back on the groceries that you bought. But that is only if you use my referral code. And the best part about Ibotta is that it's completely 100% free to sign up. And one more thing, I would like to put a disclaimer on this video to say that I also make $10 on Ibotta when you sign up using my referral code. Honestly, you don't have to drain the grease. There's not that much, to be honest. It's mainly just the butter. Make sure to put all the seasoning you want into the skillet, including salt, ground black pepper, garlic powder, some oregano, all into the skillet. And I made sure to put more than just a pinch, because a pinch is not enough. After you put all the seasoning you want in it, make sure you get both cans of the diced tomatoes out, place it into the skillet, along with the cup full of rice. And as you can see, I was struggling opening the tomato paste. Now, yeah, we do have a can opener, but I just wasn't in the mood to use it. I already packed it up because I'll be moving out of Arizona soon. So I just stuck a knife and just opened it like that. I regret it a little bit, but you learn from your mistakes. That's all that matters. So I just got a little bit of the tomato paste out. Honestly, I think most of it was still in the can, but I just gave up, man. I was angry and upset that I was just like, you know what? This is taking way too long to cook. So this is the amount of tomato paste that's going into the skillet. After you put the tomato paste into the skillet, make sure to put the Worcestershire sauce in there and put as much as you want in there too. 2 teaspoons is just not enough, you know what I'm saying? After you put the Worcestershire sauce into the meat mixture, cook until heated through for about 5 minutes. The skillet was very, very full, but I tried as hard as I could to not spill too much, and I did a pretty good job, I can't lie. And make sure to turn the temperature up a little bit to just a little over 200 degrees. That's about around the place I usually like to keep it at simmer. 200, 225 degrees, somewhere around there. And just keep mixing it around for those 5 minutes. But don't spill too much of it. While all the mixture is cooking into the skillet for those 5 minutes, grab a bowl, put both cans of the condensed tomato soup in the bowl, and that 2.7 ounces of water. I don't really understand why it's that much, or maybe it was a little bit more, I just didn't understand it. But put the water and just mix it all around. And it was pretty mixable. Once the 5 minutes are up with the skillet, make sure to turn the skillet off, and then take all the mixture from the skillet to a large baking dish. I just did a 9 by 13 inch baking dish, and that worked perfectly. I was nervous that it wouldn't, but worked just right. Feel free to flatten out the meat mixture before you pour the soup in too, because I don't want an uneven meat mixture, you know what I'm saying? Once all the mixture is put into the baking dish, then make sure to pour the soup over the meat mixture. Try your absolute best to evenly mix the soup into the meat mixture. I did pretty good at it. And then here comes the best part. Make sure to spread all the cheddar cheese you want over the casserole. I spread almost the whole entire bag into the casserole. And you might be like, Ben, why are you using Kraft cheese? And the reason why is because I got cash back on that through Ibotta. And which leads me in right here, while I'm sprinkling the cheese all over this delicious meaty casserole. If you're interested in discovering more about getting cash back on groceries, then be sure to check out Ibotta at the link in the description below. Place all the meat mixture and everything else into the oven for about 30 minutes, and which is what I did. Or what you can do is you can just bake it until the casserole is heated through and cheddar cheese is browned and bubbling. Once those 30 minutes are up, make sure to get the 9 by 13 baking dish along with this beautiful casserole out of the preheated oven. And voila, you got your meaty stuffed pepper casserole. Alright guys, so now it is the time we feast. I made a salad, got some casserole, alright. Okay, let's add some cheese in there. Oh yeah, that cheese is good too. Oh yeah, just like a tiny bit burnt, just a little bit crispy to a point where it's like good. Very tomatoey, pretty meaty too, very peppery, oniony, especially the peppers. But this tastes really good though. 10 out of 10, would highly recommend. Oh, didn't see you guys there. Well guys, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that way you don't miss any more videos helping you out cook the healthy, cheap, and easy way. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.